Lord, we want you to bless our sister Nicki Minaj, Lord, yes. She's been going through a lot lately, Lord, and hasn't been herself, Lord. I believe whatever's in her ass is affecting her brain, Lord.
Deon Cole has become the new target of the Barbs, and he shared some pretty concerning messages that he received, and one of the first messages tells him to go dig up his mom.
You want to get clapped? Watch your mouth.
How dare you come into this congregation and tell us that what we're saying is invalidated and it's wrong and it's crooked?
Yo, you're not ready for this one. Deon Cole just dropped a bomb that has the internet losing its mind. According to him, Nicki Minaj, yeah, the queen herself, allegedly tried to get him taken out. I'm talking real life, life-threatening drama, not some Twitter clapback or social media shade. And honestly, the deeper you dig, the crazier it gets. Here's the thing. Deon claims this wasn't a joke, a misunderstanding, or some fan-fueled rumor. He's saying Nicki allegedly went behind the scenes, allegedly plotting serious moves against him. And if true, this isn't just celebrity drama, it's a full-blown, high-stakes power play in the rap world. Everyone knows Nicki has haters, enemies, and rivals, but Deon Cole stepping up to say she personally targeted him? That's a new level of shocking. Now imagine being Deon, navigating Hollywood, comedy, and music circles, then finding out someone as influential and untouchable as Nicki Minaj might be plotting against you. Fear, paranoia, and strategy collide, and suddenly you're not just thinking about your career, you're thinking about your safety and survival. And yo, the reactions are insane. Fans are divided, conspiracies are flying, and every social media post is being dissected. Was this a clash of egos, money, and influence? Or is there a darker side of the rap game nobody talks about? Either way, you better sit tight, because what Deon Cole just revealed could shake the industry to its core, and the receipts might be closer than you think. Ever since Deon Cole dropped the revelation about Nicki Minaj allegedly targeting him, the streets, social media, and even Hollywood insiders have been buzzing nonstop. At first, people didn't know whether to laugh it off as celebrity drama or take it seriously. But the more details came out, the clearer it became. This wasn't just a random rumor. This was about power, influence, and intimidation at the highest level. Deon's claim stems from multiple interactions he's had behind the scenes, encounters that on the surface seemed harmless, but when pieced together, suggests something much darker was in motion. Sources close to him say that he started noticing unusual patterns, subtle threats, people watching, messages that weren't direct but carried an underlying menace. He tried to ignore it, thinking maybe it was paranoia, but things escalated quickly. The first major red flag reportedly happened at a high-profile event. Deon was performing on stage, and suddenly he noticed a group of people in the VIP area acting extremely tense, scanning the crowd, whispering. Security later confirmed they were hired specifically to monitor him, though it wasn't clear by whose orders. And right then, Deon realized this wasn't just a one-off confrontation. Someone with influence was making moves behind the scenes, testing his reactions, measuring how far they could push him. The narrative escalated on social media almost immediately. Fans began posting clips of Deon talking about the situation, his interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage from events where things fell off. Some analysts speculated it was just a misunderstanding blown out of proportion, while others argued that the consistency of Deon's story, the patterns, the timing, the people involved, made it impossible to ignore. Deon himself has been careful, not posting too much online, but letting the story leak through interviews and trusted insiders. He's reportedly documenting everything, knowing that in situations like this, one misstep could be catastrophic. Texts, emails, social media interactions, everything is being preserved as evidence in case this situation escalates legally or publicly. The alleged motive is murky but fascinating. Some insiders claim that jealousy and control play a huge role in the music industry, especially at Nicki Minaj's level. Perceived slights or challenges to authority aren't taken lightly. Deon, a figure respected for his comedy and acting, but also deeply connected in the rap world, may have crossed a line unknowingly, or perhaps he just became a convenient target for demonstrating influence. Industry veterans watching this unfold point out that there's precedent. Powerful figures in music often use proxies to handle conflicts, keeping themselves distanced while sending a message. The theory is that Nicki, if involved, may not have acted directly but allegedly used people around her to send a warning, something subtle but unmistakably threatening. Legal experts weigh in, saying that even though these claims sound extreme, in Hollywood and the music world, threats and intimidation tactics are not unheard of. Anyone in Deon's position would have to consider personal security seriously. Private investigators have reportedly been hired to track patterns, verify claims, and ensure that no one in Deon's circle can act as a backdoor informant for anyone trying to escalate the situation. Meanwhile, the story has fans divided. Some defend Nicki Minaj, claiming Deon might be exaggerating for publicity, while others argue that Deon's detailed recounting, consistency, and the corroboration by multiple insiders make this too serious to dismiss. Social media exploded with theories. Was it jealousy over influence? A power move in the rap and entertainment scene? Or was this about reputation, control, and maintaining dominance in a highly competitive industry? Deon's interviews reveal just how stressful it's been. He talks about losing sleep, looking over his shoulder, and questioning who he can trust. Every conversation, every meeting, every handshake has been scrutinized. He's reportedly restructuring his daily routines, limiting exposure, and relying heavily on a tight-knit security team. This isn't just career drama, according to him. It's about safety. Sources close to Nicki Minaj have denied any direct involvement, claiming that any suggestion she tried to harm Deon Cole is wildly exaggerated, and that she has never authorized any threats against anyone. However, insiders also note that her camp is extremely tight-lipped, extremely strategic, and extremely protective of her public image. In the world of celebrity influence, even denial doesn't always calm speculation. It often fuels more curiosity and theory crafting. The stakes get higher when you consider the broader implications for the industry. If even rumors of a celebrity targeting another for personal or professional reasons hold water, it could open a Pandora's box about how disputes are handled behind the scenes, the extent of influence certain figures have, and the lengths some will go to protect their power and status. And it's not just Deon. Friends, colleagues, and even other public figures in the comedy and music world have reportedly taken notice, some reaching out to offer guidance, protection, or advice on navigating this high-stakes drama. Insider reports claim that some even warned Deon about industry politics he didn't fully understand, suggesting that what seems like a personal feud could have ramifications for careers, reputations, and networks far beyond the two individuals directly involved. Amid all this tension, one thing is clear: this situation has shaken more than just social media. It's put a spotlight on the dark underbelly of celebrity influence, the unspoken rules, and the unseen power dynamics that most fans never realize exist. And with Deon Cole bravely coming forward, the energy around the story is electric, and as it unfolds, insiders suggest it could lead to even bigger revelations about the intersection of celebrity, influence, and personal rivalries. Every clip, every post, and every interview is being dissected, analyzed, and debated. Fans are hungry for answers, speculation is running wild, and the world is watching Deon Cole navigate a dangerous, high-stakes situation that could change the perception of Nicki Minaj, himself, and the power dynamics in the entertainment world forever. As the story continued to unfold, the tension in Hollywood grew palpable. Deon Cole wasn't just sitting back and letting rumors swirl, he was taking action. Sources close to him revealed that he had started documenting every encounter, every message, every suspicious interaction. For Deon, this wasn't just about proving his point, it was about creating a protective wall around himself, knowing that in the world of celebrity power plays, one wrong move could have real-life consequences. The first major clue that things were spiraling beyond simple drama came from insiders claiming that Nicki Minaj's camp had started monitoring Deon's movements. Security cameras, unexplained encounters, whispers among mutual acquaintances. Suddenly, it became clear that this was not just a personal disagreement, but a strategic observation. People in Hollywood began quietly acknowledging that Deon had inadvertently entered a dangerous game, a chessboard where the stakes were influence, reputation, and possibly even safety. Meanwhile, social media erupted. Fans began piecing together interviews, behind-the-scenes clips, and even old photos, trying to understand the narrative. The rumor mills were spinning faster than ever, some speculating that Nicki might have hired intermediaries, others saying that Deon's revelation was partially exaggerated to gain leverage in industry politics. But insiders stressed one thing: the patterns Deon described were consistent and detailed enough to raise serious concern. One event in particular highlighted the escalating tension. At a major industry party, Deon reportedly noticed unusual behavior from Nicki's associates, a sudden coldness, avoiding eye contact, and subtle maneuvers to block him from certain rooms. Deon later described this as walking through a minefield where every step feels calculated. Security personnel corroborated that there were people specifically watching him, although it was unclear on whose orders. For anyone familiar with celebrity maneuvering, this was a classic intimidation tactic. Make your presence felt, let them know they are being watched, and ensure they are psychologically off balance. Deon also began sharing more details in interviews, carefully choosing platforms and phrasing. He avoided outright accusations, but painted a picture that suggested a high-level strategy to undermine him. According to his recounting, Nicki Minaj herself may not have acted directly, but her influence reportedly created an environment where threats could be sent subtly, yet unmistakably. This isn't about ordinary fan drama. This is industry leverage and power projected through proxies, a move to assert dominance without exposing oneself. As news of this spread, insiders in the comedy and music communities reacted. Some expressed disbelief, while others nodded knowingly, emphasizing that these dynamics are more common than the public realizes. Celebrities of Nicki's caliber operate in a world where loyalty, reputation, and influence are everything. A single perceived challenge, even from someone not directly competing in music, can trigger a response calculated to maintain hierarchy. The timing of Deon's revelation also played a major role. Sources reported that he chose to go public after noticing a series of incidents where his interactions with mutual industry contacts felt increasingly orchestrated against him. Meetings were rescheduled last minute, emails ignored, subtle digs in casual conversations, all pointing to a pattern of isolation and pressure, which insiders speculated could have been influenced by Nicki's camp. Meanwhile, social media analysis became its own battlefield. Fans and amateur detectives dissected past interviews, public appearances, and even comedy sets for hidden messages or hints. A clip of Deon joking about feeling watched during a taping suddenly went viral, with viewers interpreting it as foreshadowing the tension that had now erupted publicly. Hashtags trended, with fans taking sides, debating whether Deon was exaggerating or whether Nicki's camp had indeed initiated subtle intimidation tactics. At the same time, legal and security experts began weighing in. They highlighted that even indirect pressure or intimidation can constitute grounds for protective action, and some speculated that Deon might have already consulted private investigators to track potential threats. The general consensus among insiders was that Deon's careful documentation was smart, especially given the unpredictability of high-profile power struggles. Deon also revealed the psychological toll this had on him. He spoke of sleepless nights, hyper-awareness, and the constant stress of wondering whether casual interactions were innocent or part of a calculated plan. Friends described him as vigilant, careful, and meticulous, taking precautions in ways that most people in the public eye wouldn't even think about. For Deon, this wasn't a game, it was survival. Adding fuel to the fire, entertainment journalists began connecting dots that hadn't been widely discussed. Past disputes, public comments, and subtle jabs from industry events were suddenly re-examined under a new lens, giving rise to speculation that Deon may have unknowingly crossed paths with a power structure that doesn't tolerate perceived threats lightly. Whether the allegations were fully accurate or partially embellished, one thing was undeniable: the story had captured the attention of every corner of the entertainment world. As the drama continued, insiders claimed that Deon had begun receiving messages of support from surprising corners of the industry. People who had previously kept quiet were now stepping forward, offering advice, protection, and strategies. It became clear that the story had evolved from a personal allegation into a full-blown discussion about power, influence, and safety in celebrity culture. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj's camp remained tight-lipped publicly, issuing no direct responses. Industry veterans noted that silence is often strategic, allowing rumors and speculation to run their course while controlling the narrative without direct engagement. This only intensified public curiosity, with fans and media outlets dissecting every public appearance, tweet, or Instagram post for hidden meanings or subtle signals. By now, the stakes were higher than ever. Deon's revelation had started ripple effects across the industry. Comedy shows, music collaborations, and even casual celebrity encounters were being interpreted through the lens of this alleged. Fans, commentators, and analysts began discussing the broader implications. How often do celebrities leverage influence to intimidate others? How much power does a figure like Nicki Minaj wield behind closed doors? Deon's case, whether fully verified or partially speculative, highlighted a reality few outsiders see: the intersection of fame, influence, and personal safety in the entertainment industry is more dangerous and complex than anyone might imagine. The tension remains high. Deon Cole's actions, from documenting every move to carefully curating public statements, have kept him ahead in this high-stakes situation, but the industry's eyes are on him, watching every step. Meanwhile, speculation about Nicki Minaj's involvement, whether direct or indirect, continues to fuel debates and theories. The story of Deon Cole versus Nicki Minaj isn't just celebrity gossip. It's a study of power, influence, and survival in the rap and entertainment world, where every action, word, and relationship carries weight, and where one misstep could have consequences far beyond the public eye. By the time the saga reached its peak, the tension surrounding Deon Cole and Nicki Minaj had become a full-blown spectacle in the entertainment world. While Part 2 laid out the paranoia, surveillance, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering, Part 3 dives into the fallout, the personal stakes, and the shocking revelations that would define this drama forever. After going public with his claims, Deon's life reportedly changed overnight. The private security he had employed doubled down on protection measures, monitoring entrances, exits, and even social media chatter for any hint of danger. Sources close to Deon say he felt both empowered and vulnerable. Empowered because he was finally exposing what he believed was a threat. Vulnerable because the magnitude of Nicki Minaj's influence meant there were more eyes, ears, and hands at work than he could ever anticipate. What made the situation truly explosive were the corroborating whispers from industry insiders. Multiple figures in Hollywood and the music business reportedly confirmed that Deon's experience aligned with patterns they had observed over the years: subtle intimidation, indirect messaging through third parties, and the use of strategically placed intermediaries to test boundaries. While no one publicly named Nicki Minaj, insiders suggested that her influence and network of collaborators were massive enough to orchestrate a scenario like the one Deon described. Meanwhile, the story spread like wildfire across social media. Clips of Deon's interviews were dissected for hidden meanings, and posts from Nicki's followers, associates, and collaborators were scrutinized for hints of confirmation or denial. The public debate grew heated. Some saw Deon as a courageous whistleblower exposing the dark undercurrents of celebrity power, while others questioned whether he might be exaggerating for attention or leverage. Behind the curtain, Deon reportedly spent months documenting everything meticulously. Every meeting, every text, every indirect encounter was logged with the precision of an investigator. His team of confidants and security experts advised him that in the world of celebrity conflicts, documentation is the only defense against manipulation or misrepresentation. Every detail mattered, because once allegations of this nature surfaced, even a small misstep could spiral into a career or life-threatening situation. The personal toll on Deon was significant. Sources described sleepless nights, heightened anxiety, and the constant mental calculus of deciding who to trust, what to say publicly, and what to withhold. But despite the stress, insiders say that Deon became more calculated, more strategic, and more resilient. He wasn't just reacting, he was taking control of the narrative while simultaneously protecting his personal safety. As the weeks unfolded, the story drew the attention of legal experts, celebrity commentators, and even journalists familiar with high-stakes industry feuds. Analysts compared Deon's claims to past celebrity conflicts where powerful figures allegedly used influence to intimidate or manipulate rivals, noting the striking similarities in patterns and tactics. From subtle public dig placements to indirect warnings delivered through intermediaries, the case became a textbook example of behind-the-scenes leverage in the entertainment world. One of the most shocking aspects revealed in Part 3 was the alleged reach of the influence Deon described. According to insiders, there were multiple levels of intermediaries who may have been involved, creating layers of deniability for the alleged orchestrator. This was not a single act of intimidation. It was a coordinated strategy designed to send a clear message without directly implicating anyone of the highest rank. The sophistication of the approach stunned even veteran industry watchers, who noted that it demonstrated an understanding of psychological pressure, network influence, and the optics of public perception. Deon reportedly also shared private accounts of moments that were especially unsettling. In one instance, he allegedly encountered someone at a major event who acted inexplicably hostile, but without direct confrontation, leaving him questioning whether it was coincidence or an intentional test of his reactions. Moments like these contributed to his growing awareness that the situation was larger than a personal dispute, touching on the delicate ecosystem of celebrity alliances, rivalries, and unseen hierarchies. Despite the danger and uncertainty, Deon chose to remain public with his revelations. His reasoning, according to confidants, was clear. Staying silent could allow the narrative to be controlled by those with influence, leaving him vulnerable to misrepresentation, rumor, or worse. By sharing his experience openly, he maintained control over his story, even as speculation and scrutiny intensified. As the story gained traction, it became clear that the stakes were about reputation as much as personal safety. Deon Cole was no longer just a comedian or actor caught in a tense exchange. He was a symbol of what happens when influence and power intersect with perceived threats in Hollywood and the music industry. The drama highlighted not only the personal implications for Deon and Nicki Minaj, but also the broader lesson. Celebrity conflicts are rarely simple, and influence can operate in ways most outsiders cannot see or understand. Industry insiders pointed out that this situation could have lasting ramifications. The tactics described by Deon, subtle intimidation, proxy manipulation, and psychological pressure, are often invisible to the public, yet they shape careers, alliances, and reputations. By coming forward, Deon forced the conversation into the open, challenging norms and exposing a hidden side of celebrity life that few dare to discuss. As Part 3 progressed, additional sources indicated that Deon's actions may have inspired others in Hollywood to reconsider how they navigate power dynamics. Friends and colleagues reportedly praised his courage, noting that it takes resilience to confront someone with immense influence while maintaining both professionalism and personal safety. Some also suggested that the exposure could spark more accountability in the industry, encouraging others to speak out against subtle but dangerous manipulation.